Hi, Alexandra. How you doing? Okay, so I've been looking at your work for, excuse me, a few minutes now, and I think I'm ready to make my comments. Now, the first thing I think, and the most obvious thing, is the fact that your pages are all different sizes. And in a presentation format, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to establish one consistent page size, then place your graphics on that page, so that we don't have stuff like this going on, where you're asking your viewer to zoom in, then zoom way out, then zoom back in. So think about that. Think about presentation mode. Okay, so here we have our first piece, and I think this piece is fantastic. I like it a lot. My only problem with this piece is the bottom and the typography. Excuse me, the typography. Now, the Sky High Tour and this effect right here is very, very good, very interesting. The typography down here looks like it could be, this looks like it could be a speech in the basement of your local library. It's just really, for a lack of a better word, and I don't mean this insulting, but it's kind of boring. It sits center aligned. You're not activating any negative space, and it's symmetrical and very regimented. And all of those words I just used, you can't use any of those words describing these bands. These bands were both groundbreaking, really shocking oriented, culture shock, drug using, culture pushing, really experimental bands. And they were pioneers, and I think the typography should say that about this type of music, or this type of characteristic of these bands. Plus, this is 1966, so think about what was going on visually in the 60s, and then I would reconsider your typographic presentation on this particular piece. Okay, next piece. Let's gotta break it back down here. Stephen King book cover. I think it's a cool idea. I really do. I love the idea. The one thing I would recommend here in this mock-up is I would design the back cover, the spine. That's where the title goes, the fold. The back cover, I would design the back cover, and then the inside dust flaps. That's something really neat and a lot of fun to design. That's where they have like a picture of the author and then a little bio, and then an inside back cover dust flaps too. Now, once you design all those, you can print this out and try to find a paper, try to wrap size paper around a book that you have, so that when you mock this up, you can wrap it around that book and photograph it. It's a really cool technique to show your book graphics. Okay, so again, what you would do is just design the whole thing: front cover, back cover, spine, inside dust flap, back dust flap. Then find a book that once you print that out, cut it out, fold it, score it, and find a book that you can wrap around it so it looks like it's a great mock-up. It's a great idea. Try it. Okay, then we have the menu. I think the menu is very good. Let's zoom in on that menu. Okay, the menu is really good. I like the menu a lot. I love the cover. The cover is very cool. A couple of suggestions. Okay, let's look at the cover first then, okay? Let me back down here just a little bit. Let's look at the cover. All right, graphics are cool. Really cool. I think that the type right here is too large. It's really big, and it's curved. The leading between the lines is probably, boy, this is probably, if this is 8.5 by 11, I'll bet you that is it. Let's check. It is. It's 8.5 by 11, so I'll bet that type size right there is probably 14, maybe even larger. It's enormous. I would bring that down a little bit. Close down the leading, especially the space in between the letters. Okay. And I would increase the size of Roots and Vine's Bistro. I think that's too small in relationship to the page size. I would like to see a relationship between the leaves and the title. So I would take this and move it under the leaves, so that you can move the leaves up closer to the title. Or if that's not a possibility, well, no, it will be a possibility, definitely, because that's a separate graphic, right? Move that up, move that down, you're in business. I would not stack or center the contact information. I would just go ahead and span it across the bottom. I think it'll help balance that page out. give it a good solid foundation. Okay, inside of the menu looks awesome. A couple of things I find of a problem in the inside here. And one of them is right here. Avocado bruschetta doesn't have a description. Everything on the page has a description, but avocado bruschetta. What happened to avocado bruschetta? Why doesn't it get a description? It should get a description, just like everything else. It'll help consistency. Love the graphic down there. Great continuation. I think that's too small. I would enlarge that a little bit. Excuse me. The only other thing I've got an issue with this page is you've got the inside of this menu framed one. You've got the orange frame, then the inner white frame, then the green frame, then the black frame or gray frame. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 frames, and that's just too many. It's encroaching on the information. Do you even need a frame? What I would do is just bleed that green, and even get rid of that yellow inside frame. It's just creating too many weird shapes. I'd get rid of that. Just keep the green and bleed the green. That's it. Okay, awesome job. I think this is a good piece. There's only one thing about this piece that I'm having an issue with it, and that's at first glance you can't tell if it is a book cover or if it's a DVD cover. I think the shape looks more like a book cover, but then when you look at it, you would say, okay, wait, this book has 3 authors, and so you see what I'm saying. But typically, there's some graphics on DVDs that immediately indicate that they're especially on the spine, you know. So take a look at some of your DVDs, or take a look and do some research on DVD graphics and see what would indicate that this would be immediately upon first glance that this would be indeed a DVD cover as opposed to a book cover. Kinetic template, you don't need these. These are your applications pieces. You don't need these production pieces in here, but this is great. I love it. I want to zoom in here because these are cool. Yeah, love it. And this is cool. And you know what? That's what I was saying about before, you know, about mocking your stuff up. This menu here, definitely mock it up and photograph it. Definitely. Even photo it into Photoshop it into an image of somebody holding a menu and slip your menu in there via Photoshop. I mean, and then you would have that, okay, those live shots, action shots. Then you would have the shots of your mock-ups, maybe sitting on a table next to these. It'll be great. These are shot well, by the way. Good job. Nice back setup there. We'll be talking about photography in a couple of weeks. So good job there. Raw book looks fantastic. This is great, and this is really this is your money shot right here, because it's showing portfolio designers, hiring professionals love to see process and love to see sketches, and you're showing both right here. So this page right here is a home run, and then it goes into your, again, a different size page. So, you know, and what I would do is, these are great. These sketches are fantastic. I mean, these illustrations. And then you have your deep sea. But what I would do is, so we already see what the illustration looks like. Okay, so instead of showing each page, what I would do is show. It's great that you're showing your color scheme. But show octopus, anchor, and then diving hat, and then the next color. Then show the 3 again. So you can feasibly show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 color combination, or 12. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4 color combinations on one page, right? It would be cool. And you don't have to, take up 4 pages to do so. And then this is great. This is your first iteration, right? This is your second iteration, I think, or your final iteration. And I think the final iteration is fantastic. Let's get in there a little bit so we can see that. Final iteration is great. A couple problems, though, with the final iteration is that, okay, so you have the Nautilus title, but you have this nice contrast. Okay, I think there's too many effects on the word Nautilus. I would just present that in some sort of, maybe this color right here, that yellow, okay, to draw a connection between those two. And it'll create this nice triangle between the 3. Too many effects right there. Okay, and then the Nautilus, as the octopus is yanking the S away from the Nautilus, I think these letters should be, they should be perfect on the same baseline. I think they should start to be like a little bit falling apart, don't you? He just yanked the S away. I think they would be all standing perfect when they just got their S yanked away. See what I'm saying? Okay, then let's get some contrast in here. I would recommend using the same color as the headline for your subhead. All right, and then over here, your character count is really long over here. This page is much more friendly because the type is a little bit larger. It's much more breathable, and your character counts are much more manageable. So I would say over here, maybe consider 2-column type alignment. I'm sorry, format your type in 2 columns instead of 1 like this, just like I did right here. All right, and then that's what I have, and I want to kind of cut this short because I am over 10 minutes. Didn't want to do that, so sorry. Any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm right here. Get with me, okay? Great job, thank you.